All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Hanamonogatari, episode 4.
We got that battle, that showdown on the court.
Yes. Roka has given us a little bit more of an insight into not only who she is, but what a bit of her backstory entails. A little bit of her story as an athlete, as an injured athlete, and maybe a little bit of some hints about what we can expect with her in the future here.
Right.
There is a lot of integral development tied to Suruga.
Of course.
Suruga.
Yes, definitely.
And her. And that bond exists in a very interesting way. And I'm curious to see what they'll develop with it in this next coming episode here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Roka will not be ignored for sure.
Yeah. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Alone basketball.
Yeah, let's get into this tough conversation.
Yep. Little recap here. To say the least.
Yeah.
When an athlete gets injured, like young, that's a very annoying thing to have to deal with.
Well, and the idea that it's not just that she can't be an athlete anymore, but that she's always going to have that injury.
Those two things at the same time.
Yeah. Sure. Now, this all seems fairly straightforward so far.
We saw that, yeah. Ooh.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
Yeah. There are no absolutes. Is an absolute.
Yeah.
I love those kinds of statements. It's in the contradiction that you find meat.
Okay.
We're kind of not aggressive like that.
Right. Right.
Aberrations.
Sure.
All right. This foreshadowing would later become important.
Well, it seems like it was saying that was foreshadowing that later did become important.
Right. Okay. It's very unique, I would say, to have a character that collects misery and lives a life of misery not be so miserable, actually.
Right. Yeah, it's a part of me that wonders if this is something where it's the two of them maybe trying to reclaim something that they've lost, and that's how it relates to Kanbaru a lot, and that she needs to kind of move on and things like that, and Roka does as well. But
well, yeah, they both lost something, but Roka's definitely more in the
in the middle of it, kind of.
Well, I would say more in the she's lost way more than Kanbaru has.
Yeah, Kanbaru's kind of already on the way to recovery and moving on.
Or hasn't she already moved on?
Or yeah, maybe she has.
Like,
but I feel like
there's areas where she hasn't, sure, but
mm-hmm.
but in a lot of ways, I would say that's where Roka ends up being kind of the lesson metaphorically for Suruga. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wait.
Now, the similar name.
Yeah.
Wait. Is the name just a coincidence, or?
Jeez. Huh.
Okay. She took exception to that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, God, yeah.
Well, I mean...
Okay, well, that's good. Ooh.
All right.
Wow. Yeah, this was the first one. Yeah, no one's so simply bad or what have you. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Wow. I like these art montages. It reminds me of the stuff with Shinobu back in...
Oh, yeah, back in Kabuki.
The past of Japan, yeah.
Yeah, you had to pay something else.
Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah.
Just by talking to Kaiki.
Jeez. Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Hmm. Wow.
Even after her own source of misery had been sated.
Right. That grew from one thing into another, multiplied and multiplied.
Right. And yet you're collecting it.
Oh.
Okay.
Whoa. Yeah. Parts that have been covered up by the clothes and what have you.
But what happens if you collect all of them?
I think what's a really good question here is not only that, but like, what is left of Namachiroka as this process continues?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly that. And is there any meaning in her life then at that point? Yeah.
Right.
Wow. I'm gonna leave this behind. Oh no, keep holding on to it. Okay. Wow. That was a beautiful sequence.
It definitely was. But this isn't how it's going to end, right? So what happens now? Because until now, what Kanbaru's been doing has been very reactive, you know?
Yeah. I swear to you, the minute that sound went off, I was like, wait, what? Oh, hey! Uh-huh. What do you mean?
She died a while ago.
Yeah, something like that. Ooh.
Wow.
Shit. Oh.
Okay.
Whoa. Oh. Ended her life as an athlete.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And now she collects misery.
Jeez. Wow. Oh. Oh.
Wait.
The mom.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, Kaiki.
Kaiki,
yeah, because apparently you met a ghost. Oh. Oh, that was cool. The way it made her look like she had her old hair.
Right, right. The way they have Kanbaru's run animation going, the way she jumps every once in a while, you can tell this was, someone that understands why running is so enjoyable.
Oh.
Because there's a point once you've been running for a long enough period of time that you're kind of used to the temperature being cold, like night running, for instance.
Right, and you're being active, so your body's keeping you warm enough.
Right, but there's this bit where the wind hits you. You've been running for a good, 5-10 minutes or what have you. So, whoa, she's just going. Good.
Yeah. How long is she going to do this, though?
Well, there's the whole point of running from...
Yeah.
But it seems like this is more of an expression of her freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, a Crossroads.
I gotta say, that whole... Oh.
Dude.
The track
we were just talking about devils, though, and we're at a crossroads.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember freaking Hanakawa at the crossroads?
Sure.
All right. Way to go. Way to go, Suruga. I have to call her Kanbaru again.
Oh.
You're lying down on the road.
Wait a minute.
No way.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What? What? That's what he looks like now?
What? You drive a damn car. What the heck? Yeah.
Yes.
Did I? That's true.
That is a good question.
Wow. Oh. Wow. Oh. Very grateful parents. Dang. Or very more like, just giving parents.
Yeah.
If anything, just dang.
But what is that with that hair?
Looks awesome. What are you talking about?
Sure.
Oh. Oh. So she hasn't moved on, yeah. Yeah. Oh. And another Crossroads again. All right. Oh, you don't know what like me means? Yeah.
Because you're going back to a place that you haven't been at for a while.
Sure.
Yeah, and even then, before that, she was in love with Senjo, so...
Act like a senpai you could respect. Whoa. Whoa.
Sure.
Whoa. Living for others rather than living for yourself? Oh, she wants it back on some small level. Aren't you bothered by it? Oh, someone else's misery. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Right, that stuff ripples out.
Okay.
Of course. But still, that time meant something. Oh, wow. Whoa.
Cool. Good advice.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, instead of running away from it. Cool. Look at Araragi, the sage.
Yeah.
I mean, with really the simple wisdom, even though he's not saying everything perfectly, he's just being himself. Ah.
That sounds like Kanbaru.
Nope, exactly.
There you go.
What a wholesome ending to an episode.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I never knew like how much I I needed just a car ride with Araragi.
Yeah.
And like older Araragi senpai, you know, with that mane.
No, I'm sorry.
At least he's not lying to her, you know, like
Araragi, everything he said was awesome. But that hair.
Why?
Senjikahara must like it or something because...
No, that's why she's lonely. I'm sorry. No, his hair is amazing.
No, it's awful.
It's amazing.
It's awful.
No. It's Edward Elric.
Oh, no.
Edward Elric without the ponytail. If anything, here's what I take it as a little bit. This is kind of a...
Long hair equal wisdom?
No. This is a little bit of a... I would say a miserable arc. And Araragi is going through probably his own new stresses with life and what have you. And he's just like, yeah, I'm going to let my hair go because, you know, I'm needing to find order in other areas of my life.
Well,
you know?
Maybe, but this felt more like this is Araragi post-end of the show in his newly attained Zen state or whatever.
He did feel rather wise. There were a lot of things where he was heeding advice from other people that he'd gotten in the past.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We got ourselves a really cool twist here. So,
yeah.
Roka was a ghost. She was dead.
She killed herself.
Yeah.
And that puts a whole nother spin and flavor onto everything that she did. Because on the one hand, does she know? 2, all the things about collecting misery. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that she comes up to someone with same name and troubled family life, maybe similar situation to her troubled family life. Oh yeah, and then she actually wants to help that person, and then that's when she takes it away from them.
Yeah. There might have been a bit of disassociation going on there. Just in the very
gotcha.
least.
Yeah. Like maybe that was her story or whatever or something like that.
Well, I think we were told her story initially, but I think the idea of when she started collecting misery is more the important thing about determining what parts of her story are actually accurate.
Sure.
In the biggest bit, though, I have some serious questions for Kaiki. Because what's rather interesting here is that I have to go back and check the timeline with regards to, you know, how things line up and what have you.
But you talked to a ghost.
But if that happened 3 years ago, Kaiki, you kind of have like an Araragi thing about you where you just attract these aberrations of sorts and just kind of bring that stuff around you. And then he just kind of rolls with it, you know.
Well, so I'm gonna try and figure this out, but you know, good luck me, right? With Hachikuji, Araragi could see her because he was lost because of all of the stuff that was going on in his own personal life and everything and whatnot. And then Hanakawa could also see Hachikuji because she was also very lost, right? Now, Hachikuji, I think the lost thing was because Hachikuji was lost. In the situation of Roka, hers seemed to be something different, where it was suffering that she couldn't handle.
Okay.
Which makes it seem that that's where Kaiki was at, too. And that's why he could see her.
Because of what happened
with
his lost love. Was that
something
like a year ago?
No, because
how long ago was that?
Well, no, she no, so Suruga's parents died a year ago. And that was when he showed up in a year before he showed up in and point is, it's not 3 years ago.
It's not 3 years
ago. It's not 3 years ago.
Okay.
So maybe that was something else. But I'm trying to see if there's some way that we can... Because we just had the Kaiki arc. So, like, it seems...
Well, again, watch order.
I
wouldn't do it based on the order of things like that. I think one of the really interesting ways we can analyze the themes of a Monogatari arc is literally take it within the context of the arc. However, the character development of the individual characters crosses through arcs.
Okay.
So when we talk about the themes of what the main message was here with regards to this. I think we in some ways have to go back a little bit to the beginning of this arc and look a little bit at Hamachi Roka's way that she was brought into the story. Well, because in some ways, what I find to be rather interesting is that Ogi seems to kind of point in the direction for Suruga to bump into the what was she called, like the devil,
Sir Devil,
basically.
And
that, more if anything, seems to be something that led to Suruga having a little bit of a funk that she kind of fell into here for a second. So when she falls into her funk, which I would say this isn't really actually a fully negative thing. It's more of just a mix of where she's like, she's not sure about who she is right now.
Right, because she's in completely unfamiliar territory now. Because before it was, she was in love with Senjigahara, and then there was the whole bigger problem of the monkey paw. Now, she doesn't have the monkey paw.
She doesn't have Araragi or Senjigahara around.
Right, so her feelings on the matter are still kind of in a tizzy.
Yep.
And now she needs to figure out who she is, right?
Well, right, but she also was thinking like, okay, cool, there's this connection I can have back here with this person who I had a little bit of connection to in the past, but not really.
Yeah, and
because it was all done 3 years ago. But specifically, have a bit of a journey within this little arc here, but then finding out no, she actually killed herself.
Yep. And
I would personally, if I was her, just kind of pulling this out of the immediate context, just going, that would kind of wig me out a little bit. I'm going to go on a run to just collect my thoughts.
Sure.
And I think that's the kind of person Kanbaru is. She is her best when she's running and having
She got groped by a ghost. and she might have had a bit of a thing for a ghost. Wait,
you could say one of the more interesting things about the any time that this show deals with aberrations or any kind of thing like that, especially if it makes it seem like, especially the way this episode did, that the aberration is something that leaves entirely after the character goes through their bit of focus there, that it was actually more of a projection of their own internal mental problems and what have you. So maybe this is something where we're supposed to look at this a little bit less literally, and that it's more along the lines of what Suruga was going through. So this whole thing of where she collapses at a crossroads and is like, I need to make a decision. Who do I want to be? There's any direction I can go, but I can't stay here because a car's coming and it's about to run me over.
Yeah,
and luckily it's a great person in her life, Araragi, who coincidentally is there to help her through this situation.
Yes.
And I love it.
And I would say, so I don't know if this was necessarily intentional, but there seemed to be a lot, once the suicide thing was brought up.
Right.
There's the question of, why here specifically? For Roka, I totally get that in that situation, that was what brought her to this place, right? But as far as why her particular story is so important to be exactly the way it was for Kanbaru, it makes me wonder if that's one of the things that she's dealing with potentially, in that because before she could have had self-destructive thoughts from the standpoint that, I hurt people if I'm not very careful, because of the monkey paw and everything. But then also the whole question of, I was so head over heels in love with Senjigahara, what do I do now? Right? Yeah. And then the whole idea of not really having, not having the people around her that she wishes were around her. And then, she runs herself into the ground, right? At a crossroads, and then Araragi pulls up, right?
Right.
Like that seems like too big to be a coincidence.
I think the big thing is that we end up getting this last little bit of artistic kind of flair added to the experience that Roka had kind of going through
oh my god,
the first time that she was wanting to save someone. And during that time when she was wanting to save someone, she ended up in a situation where basically someone very similar to her basically kept getting put into a situation where they were in a really bad way, and she even kind of helped them, so to speak, in such a way that feels very irresponsible.
Well, but also it was something where she mentioned that it was genuine, right? She wasn't just trying to collect misery, and that's very curious to me.
She wanted to save them,
right? And that's the one time that we have her going through the process of how she actually collected the devil part from the person, right?
What was the girl at the hospital, though?
The girl
that was the one that inspired her to want to collect misery,
right?
But she didn't collect the devil part,
right? Exactly.
Correct. That's right.
Which makes me wonder if it's something where, in order for her to collect the devil part, because it almost seems like they were framing it as if it was the wish of her heart, maybe, to help this person that made her take the devil part. You know, as a way of sort of taking the burden off their shoulders. Right? Yep. That could be what it is. There's a part of me, though, that wonders if it has to, by its very nature, be something that is self-sacrificing. Because, and maybe this is
where are you getting that from?
Okay, the idea that that it was a genuine desire to help the person, right?
Well, what was she self-sacrificing?
Well, so, just the idea that she wanted to do whatever she had to in order to help the person. Right, that's
like when she called Kaiki, she's saying, "I'll pay whatever it takes."
Yeah, it's even if it ended up working out in a way that was beneficial to her to a degree, it was something where she was expressing, and she believed it, a genuine moment of caring for someone else more than herself.
Right. So she held it in her arms, held it with a single word, and then it said, "Okay, I'll take care of your concerns." I'll solve them, so don't worry about a thing. And he said that over and over and over and over again.
Something that irresponsible, yeah.
Of course, there was nothing I could do, but I decided to meet Kaiki Deshu. Maybe a con man. Told me what it would cost me.
But he called himself a Ghostbuster. That was one of the other things that I thought was really funny.
That is really funny, yeah.
Card that he gave to Kanbaru earlier, had the whole Ghostbuster thing. And it's like, wow, okay, yeah, so the ghost gets in touch with the Ghostbuster, and okay, yeah, this was foreshadowed. But there's an aspect of it that I'm curious if this is where they're going with it.
Okay.
In that, what if it's something where Roka is actually coming to terms with herself?
Yep.
By collecting the devil parts, because when she talks about the idea of wanting to absorb them, right? Not turning into a devil, but she'll absorb them. It's like, okay. But the thing is that because of the kind of show Monogatari is, the idea of having a devil that's an actual force that they have to deal with and contend with that isn't related directly to the struggles of the characters seems a bit less likely. Now, they could do that, and there's all kinds of things that could be done there.
Let's go with okay, keep going.
But that basically the devil is her.
Well, yeah, that's something I think that we're supposed to get even before we get into even the story for this person potentially here, is that this person has so many things that are connected and correlate to her, that the devil part of her, for instance, is that's a part of her. It's not separate, it's just another bit,
and it's a part that needs to maybe be accepted rather than ignored. And maybe that's one of the reasons why Suruga was kind of missing the monkey paw once it was gone, because it was this idea of, well, but I don't know, I kind of got used to it, that felt like it was a part of me somehow, even if it was something that she had to rein in.
Right. I wanted to bring up, with that kind of in mind, the idea that this whole bit here, this whole story, is just an aspect of Roka wanting to help herself be free of all concerns. And the best way that maybe in this fractured state for her to be free of all concerns was to die, because after this whole thing happens, she's literally surrounded in like flames or what have you. Well, they're actually more like raindrops or tears or something that look like flames. And then after saying all this stuff over and over again, at this point she meets Kaiki Deshu, which means at this point, she's already been a ghost. So this is more just something about her processing her own potential death. But none of this ends up costing her anything. She doesn't have to pay anything. she never sees that girl again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because she's probably already dead. But yeah. Yeah.
Right, and by doing this and maybe helping herself, that's how she was finally able to truly be free, because she was able to leave behind the burden that she had during her, while she was alive, in that, she couldn't walk, right?
Right. One of those things that's kind of interesting is this idea of fighting the devil being this thing that she would go to that town and then collect basically that piece.
Yeah.
Now, this is all something that's happening in the course of, if we're going to consider Roka to be, one, an actual entity as a aberration or what have you.
Yeah.
That fighting bit feels like a call to the part where Suruga is saying to Araragi that her response to living this out is going to be fighting. So when the devil essentially comes up, when there are those moments where you basically have to overcome your own flaws,
right?
You address them directly. You don't run away from them.
Yes.
But once you address them, you remove the disassociation and you collect it onto yourself. But it is no longer a problem because you're using its power to be yours. It is something that can be turned into a positive thing. Yeah. There's no external force that's coming in and possessing it and kicking your mom half to death, basically.
Right.
It is entirely yours. So that's, I think, a tie-in to what you're talking about, in that there are multiple parts here where she's kind of giving these little looks. Suruga is about, like, I kind of miss the arm, just a little bit.
Well, and there's just this part of me that feels like I could see something happening where Roka ends up maybe collecting all the devil parts, and she's become a full devil at this point. And then it's almost like a Shrek moment, where it's like the transformation doesn't change her, kind of a thing.
I don't think we'll see Roka again, though.
Maybe not, but
I just don't think we will, because that's literally what she said. She's like, you won't see me again. And if there's anyone to see Roka again, it would have to be Kaiki. I just don't see anyone else seeing Roka.
Maybe, but given that she's in the OP, I feel like that's hitting the idea that it's going to be a parallel story and resolution,
Oh,
and I don't see
Roka's story as being resolved. Yeah,
okay. And in a lot of ways,
I'm with you.
As sort of Suruga's 12th step, it would be to help someone else, right? Like in the same way that she was kind of always jealous of Araragi and things like that, right? Mm-hmm. Well, do an Araragi. Yeah, take care of yourself, but also see if you can help someone else, right? Mm-hmm. And and that's something where I could see Suruga really being able to move past where she is right now, and not move past, because she'd be able to do it, but it'd be a milestone, a stake in the ground, so that she would know that she did move past it.
Because I think she did. I think this was her episode for that, though. I think that's the whole point of the Araragi drive here, is that she's lying down in the car in the back. She's kind of in this slump. Yes. But the reason why she's in this slump, I think, is more of an ego thing, because Araragi found her in a vulnerable, kind of annoyed state. So they, of course, have their banter back and forth with this. But Araragi's being, like, incredibly a good listener and kind of giving little feedback. And then also kind of calling her on things when she just kind of regurgitates something she heard, but didn't actually necessarily give much thought to.
Okay, yeah.
So when she's talking in a lot of ways about herself, she makes it seem like she's lost, kind of connection with who her self is. Disassociation.
Sure.
And that aspect of it might be something that was being, projected out a little bit into the whole dynamic of Roka.
And I agree that basically she has had the point of change at this point, right? And now it's just for her to move forward in that change that has happened, so that she can know that it is a permanent change, right?
Right.
It's not just a moment of mental clarity that then gets clouded over again, the next day, right?
Yeah.
And I love the times that they showed her with the close-up shots where, and because of the lighting, it kind of hid the back of her hair, so that she looked like she did in Bake,
right?
Where it's the idea of, yes, this is her full of life and energy and everything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I like, though, that she doesn't ask for his help. She's like, nope, I've got this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight. That's who I am.
Yep.
And I love Genki characters in anime in general. Like I kind of am a sucker for the sports girl that is like positive but hides their brokenness through their positivity.
Right, because positivity in general is infectious, and we would all love
like passion.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you don't want the positivity that doesn't have any brokenness, because then that truly feels fake.
Yeah.
Right? But if it's the idea that you can have the positivity in spite of the brokenness, then suddenly that becomes a strength.
Right. It's something that you put in as the antidote for yourself.
Right. And it might need to be balanced out a bit, in that you don't want to be in denial of the broken part of yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? Which might be kind of where Kanbaru or Suruga was at up till this point, right? And that's
I think
why
it was for sure.
And that's why she was kind of missing the monkey paw. But that doesn't have to be where she is moving forward.
So do you think this arc will end with her regaining the monkey paw?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
I get that vibe as well. The main reason why I don't think, though, is I really think there's a for serious, real chance that we will not see Roka again. If anything, there might be a moment where they think back to a specific thing with, like, Suruga thinks back to a specific conversation with Roka. But I think the final episode is going to be the next one of this arc specifically.
Okay.
I think they're going to have a conversation with Senjugahara. I think that's what's going to happen here.
Personally, I don't think so.
Really?
I think the fact that Suruga has had this change of heart
okay.
means that she doesn't need to talk with Senjo again.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
And one of the other things is that Ogi's here now.
We can have a conversation with Ogi. Sure.
What context have we seen Ogi in this show at all? It's been Sengoku, which Ogi manipulated so that Sengoku would become a god. And then also with Hachikuji, who was a ghost. And that ended up needing to be corrected. Now, maybe that's just a coincidence, whatever. But the fact that the one time basically in both of those situations,
we've seen Ogi though with Araragi. We've seen
yes,
Ogi,
but it was within
like, other characters too.
Well, yes, but it was always within the context of Hachikuji, right? So the time that Ogi was with Araragi, right? It was at the beginning of Kabuki, and it was them reminiscing about Hachikuji, right? And then at the end of, I believe it was Oni, going back to that conversation and talking about Hachikuji. Because there was the whole thing of Kabuki was really about Shinobu, and then Oni wasn't really about Shinobu, it was about Hachikuji.
Okay.
And then with Sengoku, with the whole thing of her whole situation, right?
Okay.
In both of those situations, that was something where Ogi had a particular objective that they wanted to achieve, right?
Okay.
In the case of Sengoku, they wanted to make Sengoku a god. In the case of Hachikuji needed to be rebalanced, right? There was an imbalance in the world.
Okay.
Now we have another situation where we have Ogi present and there is a ghost, right?
So and what was the objective other than bringing these two together to connect them?
I think it's it could be something where Ogi wants Roka to specifically collect all the devil parts or something, and that's why Ogi wanted them to meet so that could happen. But there could also be something where it's seeding for the future, where if Roka does end up coming to terms with her own issues and things like that, that Ogi is basically ready to rebalance the equation. Now, maybe it wouldn't happen because Roka wouldn't try and stay in the world, in the land of the living. But if there's a romance between Roka and Suruga, then there's a possibility that would be on the table, at least as some amount of desire for it. I don't know. You mean
Suruga's going to collect Roka's misery?
Well, I think the idea of the collecting of the misery is important. The idea that it is a negative thing for Roka currently, but there is a purpose that it serves, and it's to settle the misery inside herself, right?
Right.
And the fact that she keeps doing this, she might not even know she's a ghost, in which case she's kind of in denial. So maybe there's that aspect of acceptance that needs to happen, and we've been seeing it being brought up with Kanbaru, and that's how they could do a parallel story, where they both need to reach acceptance, and then at the end, there's the question of, does she accept the fact that she's dead and pass on, or does she stay here? And if that's the case, then Ogi could come in and be like, no.
So what we have basically based on that is Suruga is basically the shonen protagonist coming in to save to fight for Roka,
right?
And that will demand her appearance, because
maybe
I don't know. I don't know what would be the instigating factor that would bring Roka into the story again.
Well, I feel like
it's got to be Suruga fighting for herself.
Well, it could
for other people.
It could definitely be that, but like I'm trying to figure out if there's any way we can have both, because I feel like because Roka took the monkey paw from Suruga, that basically there is genuine feeling for Suruga, right? And that because that was the context of how Roka told us that it happened in the past, even if that might have been herself or whatever.
Sure,
but so because of that. And because the OP focuses so much on their own connection, that there's going to be that will be enough of an anchor of sorts for them to be able to work on their own issues, but also help each other in their own issues, because Roka already helped Kanbaru, right? Now I feel like Kanbaru has to help Roka so that then Roka can help Roka. So and in doing so, Kanbaru will be helping Kanbaru, or Suruga.
Roka being dead and saying that she's never going to see her again, has no bearing on this. I feel like we've got two big things that just changed the whole arc here. And my thing that I'm vibing with you on is that Suruga is going to be the agent of proactive finality to this arc. It is her arc. That is where the agency will be given. However, I would say that the focus needs to be reflective rather than directed out towards the environment, aka other characters.
Sure,
if they're going to do that at all, I actually think they'll legitimately bring in at least Senjugahara on the telephone, on the phone.
The one way that I could see it not being reflective,
maybe Ogi.
But the one way I could see it not being reflective for Suruga from here on out is if they go for the idea of that this was the reflection, and now it's all about that just being enacted,
consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do agree that Araragi
manifest and
right. I do agree that Araragi and the combination of Karin giving the reveal as to what's going on with Roka forced Suruga to be reflective. However, because a lot of this was basically Araragi listening to her process this and then giving advice that she then took, I think that is less her agency and more the agency that was spun out from the pinging off of Araragi, basically.
Gotcha.
So this next bit is something that she stirs in of herself,
right? And that's why she's now going out to fight. And I don't
it's
need
the
your
difference.
Help. Yeah,
it's the difference between her running away
and running towards.
Yep,
totally.
Yeah. So what does she run towards? Who does she run towards? We'll find out in the next episode, y'all. But if you want to see that next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there, and any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general. You can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yes, that's right. I wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines. Tons of similarities. Not much similarities to Monogatari, but it's really cool, and it's on Amazon if you want to get it. Link in the description below. If you're outside the US, then it's only ebook, because shipping hardbacks is ridiculous. Yeah, but go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.